guys, it's Stephanie from That's How I Cookie Coach, and today we're going to talk icing. So many cookie decorators fall under three basic categories. Some cookie decorators use glaze icing, some use royal icing, and some use buttercream frosting. I am one of the glaze icing decorators. I'm going to show you some of my tips today for glaze icing and give you a great recipe. So this glaze icing only requires 4 ingredients and one more optional ingredient that I really recommend. So we're going to be using powdered sugar, milk, or you could use water. We have a clear vanilla. I recommend using clear so that it doesn't change the color of your icing. And then a light corn syrup. The fifth and optional ingredient is a white food coloring. I'm going to show you a little bit later a side-by-side comparison of the icing with and without the white food coloring so you can decide for yourself, but I always add the white food coloring. So today I have 3 cups of powdered sugar. And then I add 1/4 of a cup plus 1 tablespoon of milk. I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of clear vanilla extract and 1½ tablespoons of light corn syrup and a squirt of white food coloring. So I always have a little bit of extra milk or water and a little bit of extra powdered sugar on hand so that I can adjust the consistency of the icing. So if it's a little bit too thick, we're going to add a little more of the liquid. If it's a little bit too thin, we're going to add some more powdered sugar. After mixing it all up, my icing is at about I'd say maybe like a honey-like consistency. The way that I measure my consistencies is by time. So what I like to do is I will lift up some icing and let it kind of drizzle back down into the bowl. Then I watch those and count how long it takes for them to smooth right back in. So for my flood icing, the icing that I'm using on the base of the cookie and the bigger areas, I'm going to be looking for about 3 to 5 seconds before this drizzle evens back out. I want it to be liquidy enough that it's easily spread and makes a flat surface on the cookie, but I don't want it so thin that it just overflows. When I'm talking about piping and outlining, I'm going to say more about a 10-second. And then when I'm talking details and wording and writing, that's going to be even thicker than that. So let's talk coloring. When it comes time to color my icing, I take that flood icing, that 3 to 5 second consistency, and I add my food coloring gels to that. Once I've reached the color that I want, then I separate that into 2 separate bowls and I add a little more powdered sugar to one of them. Now I have a flood consistency and a piping consistency in the exact same color. Today I'm going to be using some green and some purple coloring because later I'm going to be making some beautiful tulip cookies. I love these soft gel paste food colorings, and if you are interested, there's a link in the description box below. So I am just going to give myself a couple drops to start because a little does go a long way with these. And I'm going to stir it up. I think that we have a really beautiful green color right here. Those 2 drops really did the trick. So I'm just going to leave this and I'm going to go ahead and work on my purple. And 2 drops did the trick for the purple also. This made a beautiful lavender color that's gonna be perfect for the tulips that I wanna make. So I have this bowl of leaf green coloring, but it's all flood consistency. I'm gonna need to outline the leaf on that tulip before I fill it in. So I am just going to pour a little bit of this into a second bowl, and I'm going to add some more powdered sugar. So after I stir in that extra powdered sugar, I have a piping consistency. It's gonna be more of maybe like a toothpaste type consistency, and that's gonna work really well for piping those nice, neat, clean outlines. I'm gonna do the same for my purple. Another question I get asked a lot is how I bag up my icing. And I actually use zipper bags to do my decorating. It's the way I started when I started decorating cookies 7 years ago. I just started as a hobby, as something to do for family and friends and for parties. So I never really wanted to invest a lot into it. And I really got used to them and I like them. I know there's a lot of ways of going about this, and this one's honestly the only way I've ever tried. So I'm gonna do a future video for you comparing the different options for holding the icing. The Ziploc bags, the squeeze bottles, the tipless pastry bags. So look forward to that in the future. You'll get my honest opinion, and who knows, maybe I'll change everything up. But today, we're gonna stick with the zipper bag. So I open it up, I always have a glass with me, and I just set it straight down in there so that one of the corners goes to the bottom, and now I have a nice big opening to put my icing in. So I am just going to scoop it all into the bag. And then nice and easy, pull it right out. I zip it up and try and get the air out. And now I have my makeshift pastry bag here. My glaze icing is all made, colored, packaged, and ready to use. I have 2 of each color, so I have a piping and a flood for each color ready to go. All I have to do is cut the ends off and I'm ready to decorate. So don't go anywhere yet because I still want to show you how these turn into beautiful tulip cookies. At the end of this video, I have some extra tips and some side-by-side comparisons that you're not going to want to miss. If you learned something about glaze icing today, hit the like button below. And if you want more recipes, tips, and decorating tutorials, make sure to hit subscribe. promised, here's a side-by-side of the glaze icing with and without white food coloring. It's important to note that when I was measuring my powdered sugar, I poured it into the measuring cup versus scooping it. How packed your sugar is can definitely affect the consistency of the icing, so just keep it in mind and make sure to have a little extra powdered sugar and a little extra milk to adjust. The decorating videos are obviously sped up, but just so you know, there was at least 10 minutes of drying time in between each step. Thanks for watching, and if you have any questions, leave them in the comments below.